Hi YouTube. It might be a little noisy because Doug's got the compressor going, but um, I don't know how long I'm going to be. But I was wondering, do you know of any channels that you think are probably like affiliated with the Masons or um, there's so many groups, just all your groups in major towns or little towns even, um, usually are affiliated and connected with their city and state and bigger cabal areas. So I just was gonna say here's some easy ways to spot if you're following the dark Illuminati or you want to call them the very deepest state in the world um, and their offsprings. And okay, what I'm going to say is true. Um, Usually they're a bigger channel. That's the first indication that they have a lot of software and money and different things behind them, and a lot of time to do that, and ideas from other people, and they coordinate together and do a lot of stuff for each other in that um, perspective because like the rest of us are like busy, like how do we make our worlds run around every day, that type of thing. So there's your first clue. They're usually a bigger channel and they're a little bit flashy. Or they're selling something for people. That's kind of a dead giveaway too. Not that everybody is, but the majority of them are. And the third way, or I won't even number them, I'll just speak what I'm saying. They want money or they want recognition, but mostly they'll be wanting your money. And if they aren't personally wanting your money, they're going to refer you to somebody that does. These channels like, oh, so and so's a great so and preacher or whatever, or truther, and they're the ones that'll want your money. Um, if they really aren't doing you a service, like if they're just preaching at you, I'm not going to say, well, just preachers are like bad or anything. Um, but if they want something from you or want you to believe something that's far fetched that really doesn't sit right in your heart, then that's another clear indication. Another thing is their anger. They carry grudges and their anger is pretty bad. Um, let's see. Uh, they will definitely be using tools of darkness, witchcraft, or some one of the crafts that aren't of God. Something that God says, hey, no, you know, whether it be um, spell casting or which words, spelling. Um, let's see what else I was going to make a point. Oh, yeah, I was thinking of doing this video, and the next thing I know, I saw Richie from Boston put out a video, just what I was thinking of putting out, speaking on how to spot these people. And they do get angry real quick, and they do um, display that. Average person, if we get mad at each other, we're going to say, hey, we don't want to stay mad. That's the normal reaction with people. But the people that are affiliated with each other for dark deeds, dirty deeds, even done dirt cheap or free, um, they stick together. So, yeah, you can see these little channels and they'll be boasting up a bigger channel. A lot of times they won't have their picture on there and they won't have their real name either. So, um, I know there was another point I was going to get to on that, so I'll just hang with you for a while and see what's up. I guess in Philly, a cop or six cops got shot. I don't know. They were having a hard time getting the information out of the hospital. Some sniper on the roof or something. And I heard last week in Philly there was a incident that a guy with a knife, or person with a knife, I should say, I don't know if it was a guy, stabbed six people. Two of them died and four were injured. So, and I don't know what area of Philly. I know, like Minneapolis, there's certain little like areas that they'll talk about. Like I grew up in Bryn Mawr, and then I moved to Bethel. So yeah, and then my mailing address became St. Francis later because Bethel post office went out of business, like 100 people, So they moved it to the bigger town, which became a city. St. Francis town became a city, which is really weird. I watched it grow. So yeah. And I worked there. I worked for the school system, so for quite a while. But yeah, let's see. Hmm. Yeah, the main thing is these people. What the agenda is just using other people in weird ways, for your money or your time or whatever the dark mindset wants to do, and they do gather together like that. Just like little pockets of people that have God in their heart gather together and become friends, that type of thing. So, but these people do it in a bigger way because they're literally working for Satan, and there's more of them worldwide. And there's a lot of people which you would call on the fence. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's time to kick their butts off that fence. Pick a side, because by not picking, you have picked your side. That's the way that goes. This is a war, a spiritual war. Period. It's the way it is. Just like gematria. They won't tell you the truth that Satan designed it later with the alphabet, but when it first started, it was used for measuring the ley lines and the monoliths to start the electronic ether to um, use it against us. Uh, that's why so many people think they hear things in their minds, is because it's literally in the ether from Satan or his demons. And that's a big part of some of the bigger channels, really are the fallen angels, those ones. So, and they do work together in a big way. So, they have their big gatherings and their big love fest, truth fest, watch the sky fest, them, all them cornball, weird, um, they don't know what they believe in type of people, them ones, they gather. Um, there was something in particular. I'll think of it. Okay. Mm. I'll get my mind back on that. The dark cabal. The well, yeah, I call it. Well, it's part of the dark net. That's for sure. But not the dark net. But there's sure darkness. The YouTube dark net. Um, thought it was funny when Robin's Hood was talking to a little Middle Eastern guy, and I thought, what if he's the sniper? But anyway, he was like asking Robin if he was going to be on television, and Robin didn't understand things that he was saying, and then he asked oh, something kind of funny like oh, I guess I don't remember right now, but at first the first thing he said if it was a movie, but then he asked if he was going to be on TV, and that was just funny, and a couple other things that Robin didn't catch, but he got the conversation across to the guy anyway, and it was funny. It's like me when I first couldn't understand a language, and then I'd kind of pick up on their accents, and then it's easier to understand people. But for a while, a lot of times, um, you feel real bad. It's like when I'd ride on the bus to school when I was old enough not to have the school bus and take the public system, and they'd stop at the deaf and blind school, and I literally had a woman slap my hands and grab my hands and do sign language in my hand and make me look at her. And then she was blind and deaf. And then there was a couple of people that were blind that I would communicate with and started reading Braille. Um, if I remember right, a B is like 4 dots down. So, like to read Braille would be like, and a C, there's 5 of them in a circle. And those were my initials, BC, when I was a kid. And, well, anyway, so I do believe. But anyway, to read Braille is just freaking remarkable. So, and 3 sideways is an E, I believe. And so, yeah. And I learned to sign quite a bit, like thank you and very much, different things. But my kids, they can American Sign Language really well, which is cool. I mean, I could, if I had the chart in front of me, it'd be a little bit different, but it'd be like A, B, C, wait, no, no, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, I think R, S, T, U, Z, W, or no, I did Z, yeah, W, what was that? X, I think is, you cross the last 2 and put your thumb down, X, and this is Y, and, oh, I did Z, yeah, but anyway, something like that, pretty close. But to spell out somebody's name, like, okay, wait, B, A, R, B, or not my pinky up, just that, B, round. So, and there's different ways, but yeah, that's American signing. And then there's whole signing, like I did, like thank you, and very would be your hands and much open. And, I love you is pretty common. And at my wits' end, um, troubled waters, things like that. That's whole sign. The sun, the moon, set, get it, so different things. Or sunrise and sunset, you know. So I did learn quite a bit of it. And some other languages, like I can read like German and I can read French, but I have to have like pretty much for my French, I have to have something to translate it right there, you know. And Spanish is pretty easy for me. I can understand just about everything, and I can read it all. So, anyway. Oh, which was really corny. I have a friend, Anaka. She's South American, and she had a boyfriend online, and he didn't even know her name. He didn't even know how to pronounce her name. That's pretty bad. I think he went to jail. They're kind of young and talking to each other online. So he's Big Bird, the operator, or Charles. I don't, Vanda something, something. So Spanish, Mexican, you know, Hispanic of some type. Oh, still trying to think of. I'll get it. If I missed what I was gonna say about something about spotting if you're following the dark cabal, I'll let you know in another video. So let's put it this way: the way they speak is altogether different. They express their anger different. They're um, like, okay, it'd be like crass, like real crude language that they have to strangle. They have to. They're just about choking on their filth. That type, you know. But there was something in particular I was going to say that struck me. Um, they wouldn't give anybody any crap, all in good fun, just to teach them a lesson. That's for sure. And I heard something. What was it? Oh, it was on Facebook. It said, you can tell the people that didn't have to pick their own switch off a tree. It shows, you know. So, not that everybody should be beat up when they're kids or anything, but yeah, the people that were kind of have a different outlook on life. They're probably a little more kind. Oh, oh, I gotta say something. There was this one video I watched, maybe you did too, and I turned it off like halfway because guy was so vain he wouldn't even use a walker that his dad had brought him because he had hurt his pelvis or something. And talk about vanity. And then was something something about that. It just struck me as odd because it's like, imagine me walking down to the mailbox with that, and oh yeah, my parents get everything top of the line, or he didn't say top of the line, that's my saying, but the best of everything and whatnot. Well, most people, if you can, try to, and a lot of us try to buy American if we possibly can. But like, there's a truck that Doug's swearing over right now that he had to get the parts out of the United States because that's the only place they made them. Something like that. So it's like, well, but yeah. But it's just like fixing our house. It's we could do it the cheap way, but we want to wait and do things the way we want them. What I really want is just to sell it and get the hell out of here. That's what I want. So I want a little cabin in the woods, little log cabin. Maybe an A-frame with a loft, maybe, with a walkout veranda on the top coming out of the master bedroom. Yeah, it'd be nice. Maybe a sunken living room, little kitchen, big bathroom. I love big bathrooms. Great big tub. I want a corner tub with a corner shower stall, all of it together. So, and I would have to probably make it myself because I saw one kit. Well, they do make them. They would install them, but I've installed shower stalls before, so I'd probably just do that myself. Pick my tub and shower because I could probably save about $5,000 by doing it myself. If I get something that's worth like a couple thousand and have somebody put it in, it'd probably be $7,000-10,000 by the time they got done. So it's like, nah, do it myself. So, oh yeah, but yeah, I was really surprised um that somebody wouldn't humble themselves when they were talking about using a walker when there's people that can't walk when they're born, you know. And it's just like when I pulled my spinal cord, I was a little embarrassed to have my friends carry me in the hospital. And they said I'd never walk again. But working in retirement homes, go tell some of them people, you won't catch me going down to the mailbox with this. Yeah, tell them that. I'm sure they'd love to hear a man of God say that to them. That would really make their day, you know, I'm sure. So, dude, you need to humble yourself. Whether you want to value my words or not, that's your mistake because you don't hurt God's children for your own gains. So, you'll find out. Oh, anyway, yeah, won't teach that gematria was started for the ley lines, for the control, and then it was turned into a tax situation about 403 or 6 AD. And then in 1849, well, one time in between there, like in 1200s, like 1249, they changed it into more taxing people on their land. Um, but before that, they didn't own land. They just like taxed people to live in their town. Then they started taxing people on their land and the sons that lived in the house and started taking records of the subservience or what they call the goyim. Like Steve likes to say, he loves that word, calling people goyim. You know, that means lesser than. Um, uh, or the Serbs, you know, servants. Um, or filth. Goyim means filth too. Um, or worthless, you know, nothing type people to the Illuminati is what that means, basically, bottom line. And so he won't teach that they were keeping records of all our bloodlines and forefathers and brothers and sisters and everybody else, but especially the men, the women for different reasons. And then it turned into not just tax, but then they applied the different alphabets first from the Greek and then the Hebrew and then in the English because a lot of people started migrating over to the Americas and they had to change it so they could keep control of them by their word magic by writing in this book as if it were proof of somebody's character. And that's what's going on. And they want money to tell you you're good or bad, naughty or nice, when you know in your heart whether you love God and He loves you or not. You know it. Well, He loves everybody, but do they like you? You know, does He like you? You know. So I don't think He likes somebody that would purposely hurt another human being. for any reason. And lying to a person, that hurts. Or lying about a person, that's way worse. So that's bearing false witness right there. So when these people write something, they can't speak on the God's honest truth of it. So anyway, in 1849, they went full blown with the English version of gematria to write anything they wanted to write in there as if it were proof. Because Satan made those numbers and those letters line up, whoop-de-flippin' do, you know, when everything's turned upside down anyway, and good is bad and bad is good in our language. So, yeah, just beware. These people will patronize each other, and they'll even turn on each other. They'll act like they hate each other, when in all reality, they probably do, because they don't care about anybody but themselves anyway, in the true narcissist style. So that's true. I'm gonna let you go. That's probably enough on that. I just wanted to say what's on my mind. I'm sure you understand that. When you're doing this, I know you, and you know me, and someday, and it won't be long, it's gonna end, and it's not gonna end pretty for you. Your work ahead of you, because of your slackness now for God, is going to cost you dearly. So nobody dies. Don't buy their bullshit. We are eternal beings, like we last forever, you know. Doesn't matter how many times you got to learn your lesson, but you will learn it. So, okay, I'll let you go. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thank you for joining me. I love y'all. God, there's some crappy people out there. I can't hardly even believe it. So have a good night or day wherever you're at. Peace.